Thanks, Kim. You keep me employed. Just so you know, Kim actually had an accident on the stage yesterday. Something so simple, and it happens everywhere I look. Nothing wrong with stepping up on the stage, even though there's a step over there. She slipped, cut open her shin. It just happens. I was up at the old man's place in January last month there, give him a hand to get ready for the floods and all that. We've got a nice property right on the banks of the Daintree there. It's a good spread. If anyone asks the old man what he farms, he'll tell you free-range crocodiles. So there's quite a few up there. And so we were lifting generators and all that, and decided to get his chainsaws, make sure they were all working for after floods and all that, and started up his chainsaw. And as I did it, the dog walked in front of the chain, and this chainsaw just went to life. I shut it down and think, Jesus Christ, what just happened? And I looked at Dad, and I've got this thing that I do when I question anything Dad does. What the hell's just happened? So what had happened was that the brake had stuffed around on the chainsaw, so he'd disconnected it. But, he didn't tell anyone. So the bloody dog, it was lucky it wasn't one of my kids walking in front, because this thing just went to life. But the funny thing was, a couple of years, Dad had actually bypassed the safety system a lot of years ago, and it resulted in someone spending 9 months in hospital. A lot of people talk about the victims. We have people, that do these talks about farm accidents and everything, but no one really knows what happens to the person that might have caused the accident, might have short-circuited the safety system that has allowed someone to get hurt. My dad was one of those people. The person spent 9 months in hospital. Dad worked. When he wasn't working, he was at the hospital. He was pretty much paying his penance, sort of thing. It wasn't a good time for the family. It's still ongoing today. Those things never stop. You drop you ever seen a rock drop into the water? You've got the ripples coming out. That's what it's like. When the rock hits the water, that's the accident. The ripples keep going, and it's still ongoing today. Dad battled a lot of alcoholism, drugs, because he couldn't deal with the fact that he'd put someone in hospital for 9 months. As a result, direct result, Mum shot through. She was only young. She couldn't handle it. So it was just basically me and Dad. We were having a yarn after the chainsaw thing, and we got to talking about the big accident that sent Dad down this path. And fortunately, he's coming good. Has he forgiven himself? I don't think he has, or he ever will. But he's off the alcohol and everything, sort of straightened himself out. But I said to him, what's the worst thing from your point of view? What is the worst thing? And he said to me, he goes, the worst thing is if they live. If they die, you grieve, you move on. When they're alive and you see them, it's just a constant reminder of where you stuffed up. My wife was shocked because that person that spent the 9 months in hospital was me, his son. I ended up with burns to 32% of my body. 9 months in hospital. I died 3 times, twice because of the burns, once because my skin grafts got infected. So Dad had a lot of hard times dealing with that. As I said, it still affects him today, even though he won't admit it. I still can't take my shirt off in front of my dad to go for a swim with my kids, whatever, because he sees the scars. He changes. He withdraws into himself. It's just a constant reminder to him. So we've got to really look at what we do, what decisions we make. I don't preach figures or facts on safety or these things. I train people. I walk beside them and show them how to actually make better risk management decisions. My boss has asked me to hop up here because I just mentioned to him, I go out to a lot of field days and all that. I've got a pretty kick-ass job, actually. Worth more money, though, if the boss is listening. So I go to a lot of your places and help our officers and all that set up and get everything ready so no one hurts themselves, basically. And I get a lot of people coming to me on the side. They don't like just talking about safety in front of other people. I don't know why, but and they ask me different questions. Oh shit, Jace, what do you reckon about this? How can we manage this? And one thing I notice, it's always your wives. The women that come and ask me, no blokes, it's always the women. I don't know why. So I said that to my boss, and they said, jump up here, we know you hate public speaking, so here I am. Great. So what do? I train our officers at Reef Catchments and also Catchment Solutions. They do a lot of work similar to you guys. They're by themselves a lot, out in the field, working remotely, much like any farmer. I train them, I give them all the tools necessary so they can make better risk management decisions, but I'm a realist. I know shit happens. People make mistakes. And to help me deal with that, I ensure the line of communication back to me is open at any time. So if something does go wrong, they can automatically call me. One of the things, obviously, we use is mobile phones. The problem with that, a lot of my officers work remotely where there's no mobile reception. How I combat that is a little toy called a Spot Gen 3. And this thing's just fantastic. It actually tracks my people for me. They hit a button every 2 hours. It sends a text message and an email to me with their exact location on a map and tells me that they are okay. They have another button which I've programmed for if they get bogged. They press that. I know to send out a forward drive with recovery gear. Another button means they're broken down mechanically. They need roadside assist. The big button, the SOS one, bypasses me and goes to GEOS International, and they immediately dispatch emergency services straight to that person's area. Within 50 metres, it's accurate too, so they will find them. One thing before I go, I really want to push onto you guys, because you do work alone, is carry or purchase a personal locating beacon. It's basically like your EPIRBs for your boats. It saved old mate's life up the valley last year when he got gored by the bull. They cost $300, but they can save you a whole lot of trouble. If you're getting bit by a snake, you're by yourself or whatever, you just hit the button, help comes. All right? So that's about it from me. I'm trying to keep it short so you can get to lunch on time. I'll be floating around if you have any questions, because no one likes to talk about safety out loud. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jason. That's really valuable information and something that, maybe we don't all think about a lot of the time, so much appreciated. Right. Well, it's lunchtime, and just a note on lunch, if we could actually have 2 streams going in, so one through the front door and the other one, if you take the stairs and come around the back and head in that way, then we won't get so much congestion. So we're back in here just before 1:50, so 10 to 2. All right, enjoy your lunch. See you then. Thanks.